Hi, I'm Nadine Piat and welcome to Healthy You, Healthy Love. And today I have a very powerful video for you. If you are looking for a guy, want to settle down with a guy and you're not having any luck, then this video is absolutely critical. Why? Because if you want to find a man, if you want to have a lasting connection, then in the first 6 weeks to 8 weeks of dating, you've got to know these 6 tips to hook a guy and get him to commit. You see, in the early stages of dating, there's a lot of extra pressure coming from both sides. We all have a history and a past, and most often we are comparing the present situation, the person that we're dating, with our past experiences. It is a time when we can be, our expectations are high and we can be super sensitive about certain things that remind us of past experiences. So I'm going to run past you 6 things that you need to be really careful of if you want to bring in the most amazing man and keep a relationship happening. So let's get to it. The first point is you've got to have your own life. Many people are not actually that happy with their lives before they meet somebody, before they get out there and date. Some people are dating because they are legitimately ready for love. And some people are dating is because they want to add something into their life to make them feel better and happier. And so if you want to find an amazing man, then I encourage you to have a life before you even start looking for love. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't be online dating right now or meeting men when you're going out socially. That is absolutely fine. However, it's very important to live and honor your core values. You see, some of my core values are things that I act on and work on every day. Now, there are times when I actually don't really live by them as well as I should. For example, I love adventure, I love humor, I'm really into health and fitness, so I really value health, emotional and physical, and I'm very much into intimacy, intimate relationships with myself, so understanding myself, and also really having deep connected relationships with other people, whether it be a boyfriend or my friendships with girlfriends, male friends, and my family. So if I love adventure, if adventure is important to me, then before I meet a guy and when I meet a guy, it's important to me to honor that part of me. Because if you meet someone and you don't live in a way that's honoring your core values, chances are is that you're not going to be putting the best version of yourself forwards. You're not going to be living from a place of self-honor. And self-honor is really attractive and sexy. And when you have a life that is full, then you aren't always available. You become more attractive because you are actually engaged in your life before you met the guy. You are not available for him 24/7. You are out doing things that you love, whether it's ocean swimming, mountain climbing, seeing new restaurants, catching up with friends that you've got some events that you've already planned months in advance. You are engaged. So, my core values may certainly be different to yours, though it's really important to break that down and find out what you can be doing today. And even if you're dating a guy right now, how can I engage in those things so that I actually keep my sense of self? It's sexy, it's attractive, it's alluring, it's inspiring, and it makes you, not that you want to play a game to be less available to create a chase. But the reality is a little bit of scarcity helps. But it's not because you're playing the game. It's coming from a heartfelt self-honor place. Okay? So the second point is match him, pace him. Don't get ahead of yourself and don't also try and lead everything. Women have become more and more independent, and because of this independence, sometimes we can take the role of leader. Now, there is nothing wrong with making suggestions with the guy. Just don't be the one doing it all the time. And if you're really honest with yourself, if you are the one initiating regularly, there's a reason why that's happening. There's a reason why you're trying to set the pace of the relationship. And why could that be? Well, if you are fearful of him liking you enough or wanting you enough, or you're wondering or fearful that he doesn't like you as much as you like him, then it's highly likely that you'll start contacting him and leading because you don't want to have him not contact you. So you're taking the steps first before he actually has time. And as much as some men like that, they love the encouragement, they don't want women to play games and pretend like they don't really care whether they hear from them or not, it's still really important to give a man the space to come forward to lead. So it's really important to lean back and kind of match his pace. Okay? Which leads me to my next point. Expectations. So many people, both men and women, have full on expectations from the early stages of dating that it should be moving at a certain pace if it's going to work. If a guy really likes me, he will 100% be contacting me a few times a day, sending me text messages, telling me that he can't wait to see me, booking me in for Friday night, Sunday, or whatever your story is. He must be introducing to me to his friends by the 6th week. He must be future talking, making plans for the future. Now, I've dated men that are amazing at making plans early on and locking me in very, very quickly, pretty much from the day I met them. And I have also met guys who are slower, who move slower, whose pace, as we were talking about before, pace is a little slower. And therefore, one of the things that can happen is that if you have an expectation and a belief that it needs to move at a certain pace and it's not, then you can assume that the guy isn't interested. And some guys who are really interested are slower movers, because they don't want to ruin it. They want to take their time. They're gathering their thoughts. They're wondering how to navigate, how to impress you, and how to also keep themselves in check. So emotionally, they don't want to get ahead of themselves. They don't want to ruin it either. And they don't want to be rejected by you. So some people aren't fast moving. So don't expect it to be a certain way. The next critical point is don't assume anything. We've all had past experiences that have been hurtful. You know, I've dated guys who are emotionally abusive. I've dated a guy once who had a major drug problem. I've dated guys who were hot and cold and never became warm properly. I've dated guys who were hot and cold and who did become very committed in the relationship. I've experienced a lot of different scenarios in the dating phase. However, this is why it's really important not to assume. Some men are more chatty and will talk to all different people. And if you're a jealous type of person, the last guy you dated cheated on you, then when you're out socially and he's just being warm and encouraging in a conversation with a friend of yours or someone that's kind of in your group, you might start feeling insecure and you may say something that puts a lot of pressure on him. You may jump to a conclusion that what he's doing means that he's just like your ex or he's going to hurt you. The same thing can happen for him. He may do something. So you may do something or say something that triggers him. He may even say something to you. And if you both are reactive and if you both, jump to the conclusion that it means that the relationship is doomed, or it means that you're just like the ex or whatever it is, then this new potential love match could be over before you know it. So don't assume that what he's doing equals something from your past experience. Now, sure, a guy who's overtly flirting and being inappropriate with your friend or some other person is definitely something, to be obviously mindful of and to have a little bit of a red flag about potentially. However, it doesn't mean it. So just be a little mindful, don't be reactive, be proactive. So sit with your emotions, look at this situation objectively, and then decide what to do. Don't be reactive, don't be too impulsive, and also don't ignore what you know to be true, which could be that the person isn't right for you. My next point is also one of the most critical points in this whole how to hook a guy in the first 8 weeks of dating. Now, it links to actually some of the other points, though there is quite a distinction here. One of the most important things not to do early on in the dating phase, and some women do this from the very first date, from the very first conversation, is this guy marriage material? You're already thinking about getting married before you've even gone on the first date. You're thinking about getting married before you've gone on the 10th date. Now, this is the thing. Not everyone is how you think they're going to be from the get-go. People can be a little different, or quite largely different, from the first date or the first phone conversation to knowing them 2 months, 6 months down the track. And so if you want to feel empowered, if you want to hook a guy in, then don't put the cart before the horse. Don't get ahead of yourself. The most important thing that you want to know about a guy that you're dating is if you like him, not whether you could marry him. Now, so many women and so many men too, but women probably more so get so caught up in the love word. Does he love me? Do I love him? Now, of course you want to have feelings of love, but being in love and being with someone you like are kind of different things. So I want to encourage you to focus on nothing to do with the future. Focus on the present, and do you like this man? Is this man of good character? Is he respectful to himself? Does he honor his own word? Is he kind to me? Does he seem to have a partnership mindset? When I talk to him about my feelings from time to time, or if something comes up early on in the relationship and we talk about it gracefully, does he work with me? Is he able to change things in order to create a healthy relationship? So, as I said, is he in partnership mode? These are the critical things to know, not whether you could marry him, not whether you desire him enough to have sex with him, not if he fits this perfect man or this idea of what you think you need to be happy. Because sometimes what you actually think you need and want and what is actually healthy and compatible for you can be two different things. So whilst you're so caught up in the fantasy and the desire and the passion, you can actually forget, and you might be even getting hooked on things that aren't healthy for you, like money, power, social connections, looks, sex. All those kind of things can hook people in when in actual fact they're forgetting whether they actually like the person. So don't think about marriage. Don't think about the commitment too much early on. Focus on having your own life. So keeping your life, and when you meet a guy, don't forget to keep engaged in your own activities, because then you will create the mystery. And all the other points that I mentioned, these 5 points are critical. So focus on cultivating all of these. And when you start feeling anxious about a guy in the early stages of dating, check in with this. Come see this video again and work out what is really going on for you. So if you like this video, like it below, subscribe so you can see my next video, and also check out the free gift below because it's related to this topic and it's going to help you with the man that you're dating or with the next guy you date. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.